Remember last week we told you about how Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media platform, hit the stock market. It got listed on the NASDAQ under the ticker DJT. Well, the hype and excitement from Trump supporters about it brought it up to this crazy valuation last week, something like $11 billion at the peak. It peaked at around $74, $75 a share. And now, just a few trading days later, it is already down to a measly $46 a share, meaning that Trump's net worth has come down significantly from the artificial highs it was last week, and many of the people who bought into the hype are also now down on their investment. Trump blew up over the stock decline, sending out the following message on where else but Truth Social. He trothed, as we like to put it. All of the competitors to Truth Social, especially those in the radical left Democrats Party, who are failing at every level, like to use their vaunted disinformation machine to try and convince people, and it is not easy to do this, that truth is not such a big deal and doesn't get the word out, as well as various others which they know to be false. Oh yes, all the Truth Social critics know that it really is the platform that people are using. It really is so ingrained in our culture at this point, but we're just so unwilling to admit it. And apparently this critique from Donald Trump extends to Twitter/X as well, which many of the Elon fans, I'm sure, are not happy about. Now, we know that the stock market valuation of DJT is wildly out of sync with what it is intrinsically worth. Last year, the company had just over $4 million in revenue, and it had $58 million in costs. So there's nothing at all indicating that this is an $11 billion company. So the stock was way overvalued, and in my opinion, it still is way overvalued. And maybe a whole bunch of people recognize that. Maybe a bunch of shorts came in from people and institutions realizing that it was overvalued, or maybe Trump supporters who bought into the hype thinking that it would go to the moon, saw it dipping, and they panic sold, and that's the reason for the decline. It is somewhat of a meme stock after all. Whatever the reason for the decline, it has come down a significant amount, and in my opinion, that is a delightful thing to see. There was this idea surfacing within the right-wing ecosphere that maybe instead of donating to Donald Trump's campaign directly, where you're up against limits and these sorts of things, maybe you can just buy DJT stock, and that will help him because it will increase his net worth and it will allow him to spend more on the campaign. Mind you, Trump can't sell any of his stock for 6 months. I think a lot of people left that out from their analysis, and that's actually right before the election. He could potentially rug pull people right before the election because he owns 60% of the company, so he could just dump a whole bunch of shares at once. But theoretically, this plan could still work, trying to raise Donald Trump's net worth by buying DJT stock, and this idea that could help him with the election and fundraising, because with Trump's net worth being higher, he can secure better loans. But I don't think that's going to work out for him so well if the stock is declining precipitously and if banks assess that the underlying asset of the stock aren't anything close to what it is valued at when it comes to the stock price. So things could change on this. DJT could go to $100 a share next week. I'm not saying that it couldn't. It could also crash and go to zero. But as of yet, this is not the major win that Trump and right-wingers have made it out to be. Also, another Truth Social story to bring to your attention that broke this week. Donald Trump filed a lawsuit against Wesley Moss and Andrew Litinsky, former contestants on The Apprentice, who co-founded Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG, for essentially not doing a good job, as Donald Trump sees it. Trump alleges they failed to properly establish the venture, claiming they rode on his reputation, but failed to execute their responsibilities diligently. The lawsuit says that Moss and Litinsky failed spectacularly at every turn in setting up the company and making a series of reckless and wasteful decisions that put the project on ice for more than a year and a half. Trump also claims they breached their agreements surrounding stock options valued at over $400 million. Trump wants to take away their 8% stake of the company, just seize it for himself. That's the remedy that he's seeking. But Trump, at the same time, will argue that he only hires the best people. That is, except for, in this particular instance, when it comes to these two people. Except for them, Trump only hires the best people. Oh yeah, and except for his own vice president, Mike Pence. Oh yeah, and his attorney general, Bill Barr, and Christopher Wray and Nikki Haley and Jeff Sessions and John Bolton and Michael Cohen and Mark Milley and Anthony Scaramucci and Rex Tillerson and Steve Bannon and Paul Manafort and Jim Mattis and basically everyone else who has ever worked for him ever. Aside from all those people, Donald Trump only hires the best people. So that's the story for you today. Truth Social on the decline and Donald Trump losing billions as a result of it. All right, we're going to go to another break. We'll be back with more of the David Pakman Show after these commercial messages.
Think of your most personal emails. If you're using a free email provider, you should know that they're scanning every email you send and receive, even after you delete it. They're usually using the data to build a picture of your life to show you ads, which many find creepy. Our sponsor, StartMail, never scans or tracks your emails. Privacy is what comes first. And unlike other email services, when you delete an email in StartMail, it is gone forever. It also protects your data by blocking tracking pixels in emails, which companies and hackers can use to track you. You can create unlimited email aliases to protect your identity and cut down on spam. You can encrypt every email you send, even if the recipient isn't using encryption. StartMail gives you 20 gigs of storage. That's more than you get on Gmail. And it only takes a few clicks to migrate all of your emails and contacts over to StartMail. Go to startmail.com/Pakman to get 50% off your first year. That's only about $2 a month. The link is down below.